This week's video is inspired by
Philippians 4:6-7. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving let your requests be known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus.
As it got closer and closer to the braces install, I would have talked about that on my previous video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I was getting so anxious, nervous, as I said, about the pain and everything that comes with it. And as it got closer, the feeling of the anxiety kept creeping in and getting worse. Very anxious about maybe even added stress I put on myself was that maybe she forgets about the appointment and there I am planning for it and all these things and it don't happen. Additional stress that is definitely not needed. The nerves were taking over. I mean, I was having nights where I'm just thinking about it, all the possibilities that could go wrong, even up to thinking the appointment might not happen and there I am planning for it and it doesn't happen. Additional anxiety that it's not needed, not required. It must dash right through the door. But it is not that I became less anxious or anything, but all of a sudden my chain of thoughts shifted. My focus shifted to work events and meeting deadline, right? I was meeting a deadline with a particular thing. And then over the weekend, so the Sunday before going to work, the Monday, I was up late again, and not because of the thoughts about the braces installation, but this time it was thoughts about meeting a particular deadline for the Monday. And I was wondering, how is it going to work, right? And I thought about it. I was trying to plan in my head what to do first, what to do next, prioritizing the to-do list off the top of my head in my bed when I'm supposed to be going to sleep. And I worked myself up. I mean, I probably went to bed after 2 a.m. after going to my bed like minutes to 10 o'clock. Absolutely madness. I was thinking about it so much that I had sleepless nights, just thinking about the possibilities. Then I will go to work tired. A crazy ripple effect. I don't know why sometimes as Christians we get ourselves in these situations when there are so many promises out there, especially the one that inspired this video, that we are to be anxious for nothing. And I was saying, but I did this and did this, and I almost sure I was complete, right, to meet the deadline. Then a supervisor passed my desk and said, a customer came to her and said something in particular that I need to handle. And I was almost sure, I'm like, I didn't do that. Okay, now I have to add that to my list. Now I'm meeting 2 deadlines within the same time frame. And I was wondering, how is that going to work? Because I'm not sitting behind a desk where I have peace and quiet to get things done. There are persons walking in at the same time. You're serving, you're answering the phone, but yet still what's on your desk needs to meet the deadline. And I worked myself up about that as well. So I had 2 things on my mind being anxious about. And when the dust settled, I looked into it and I said, all right, let me look at this thing that the supervisor spoke about. When I pulled the files for these persons, let me tell you something. What she's asked about was already done weeks ago. I mean, like 3 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago. Worked myself up for nothing. And in that situation, I was smiling and I said, look at that. you know, or God is so big, or God put things in place. Him know the beginning from the end, and he knew that I would be in this situation already, and he worked it out, you know. But guess what? I worked myself up for nothing. And that particular day when I went home and I told my husband about it, I told him that, you know, say, what I was working myself up about actually was already complete. And I laughed about it and just went on with the night, the evening. But as I was going to my bed now, the text came to mind. And I said, you know what? It's the same thing for this braces install, you know. It doesn't make no sense I sit here and work myself up, and at the end of the day, it's gonna work out, or it should work out, you know. Me being anxious about it does not change it. I mean, God has my best interest at heart. In every situation, he knows the beginning from the end, and he has already put things in place. It's already done. So no need to worry about it. So hear what? Come with me to this braces install, and I guarantee you that at the end of the video, it would be a situation where it worked out how it's supposed to, and at the end, God will get the glory. Come with me on this journey.